Welcome to our channel. This video is about half versus 3/4 of a horsepower garbage disposals, a comparison. So make sure to watch the full video. You must be wondering if you should buy a half a horsepower or a 3/4 of a horsepower disposal. Trust me, you are not alone. Many people are confused when it comes to choosing the right size garbage disposal for their homes. Which one should you choose? 3/4 of a horsepower garbage disposals have more grinding power than half a horsepower ones. If you plan to use the disposal only once a week, a half a horsepower disposal is the right choice. But if you want to use it more frequently, I recommend buying a 3/4 of a horsepower one. 3/4 of a horsepower disposals have more grinding power. 3/4 of a horsepower disposals are more powerful than half a horsepower models. Even though this difference is only a 1/4 of a horsepower, this significantly affects their grinding capability. Half a horsepower disposals are generally considered entry-level units by most plumbers. It can grind all kinds of soft foods, however, you shouldn't grind any bones and fibrous food items with it. They are suitable for those who don't cook very often. 3/4 of a horsepower disposals are the ones used in most households. They are good for regular use, and some of them can grind chicken bones and cooked meat in addition to soft food wastes. Some top-end models like InSinkErator Evolution Compact can grind fibrous food wastes as well due to a multi-stage grinding system it has. Build quality of 3/4 of a horsepower disposals are better. Generally speaking, the build quality of 3/4 of a horsepower garbage disposals is better than half a horsepower units. Most of the half a horsepower disposals fall into budget models, so manufacturers try to cut the cost of production as much as possible. So the majority of the disposals with this horsepower rating are made with galvanized steel. But the majority of the 3/4 of a horsepower disposals have their grinding components made of stainless steel. I think this is because since these disposals are expected to price higher, the manufacturers can afford to use stainless steel in them. Stainless steel grinding components last much longer than galvanized ones. Since disposals are constantly exposed to water, there is a good chance that the galvanized steel components will rust once they lose their galvanized coating. Stainless steel is much more resistant to corrosion, and the garbage disposals using it last much longer without failing. 3/4 of a horsepower disposals have longer warranties. The warranty of 3/4 of a horsepower disposals is longer than half a horsepower disposals. Again, this is when speaking generally. There may be a few half a horsepower models that have longer warranties than some 3/4 of a horsepower models. But most 3/4 of a horsepower disposals have longer warranty periods than the other. The length of the warranty can be easily linked to the build quality of the garbage disposal. Those with better build quality will last long, so brands are confident to cover them for longer periods. Since most 3/4 of a horsepower disposals are built better than their half a horsepower counterparts, it is no surprise that they come with better warranties. I think Waste King 2600C in Amazon disposal model has the longest warranty among half a horsepower disposals. It has a 5-year warranty. Among 3/4 of a horsepower disposals, Evolution Compact C in Amazon and Waste King 3200C in Amazon models have the longest warranty, which is 8 years. 3/4 of a horsepower disposals costs more than half a horsepower models. Half a horsepower disposals are cheaper than 3/4 of a horsepower disposals. This is an obvious difference. As 3/4 of a horsepower disposals have more grinding power and better build quality, they are expected to be priced higher than a half a horsepower disposal. However, in many cases, their price differences are not that high. The prices of some closely resembling half and 3/4 of a horsepower disposals are different by only a few bucks. This is because some models use the same body but upgraded motor and grinding components. A good example of this is a Badger 5 and a Badger 5 XP. Both of them use the same body, but Badger 5 XP has a 3/4 of a horsepower motor while Badger 5 is half a horsepower. 3/4 of a horsepower disposals are quieter than half a horsepower. 3/4 of a horsepower models are generally quieter than half a horsepower ones. This is not because their motors are quieter, but because many of them come covered in noise insulating foams. Since noise insulation is a big thing among garbage disposals, brands are eager to put their quiet models in the spotlight, so you will hardly miss it. Half a horsepower disposals are more compact. I can show you many examples where this is not the case. However, mostly, half a horsepower disposals are more compact than 3/4 of a horsepower units. This is due to the larger motor in 3/4 of a horsepower units. The disposal needs to be made bigger to accommodate the larger motor. Also, since many of the models in this category has noise insulation, its size is added to the overall size of the disposal. There are definitely contradictions to this. If you consider some half a horsepower disposal model by Waste King, for example, WK2600, and a 3/4 of a horsepower disposal like InSinkErator Evolution Compact, the latter is smaller. But again, generally speaking, half a horsepower disposals are more compact in size. What do you think of our video? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also remember to subscribe to our channel and enable notifications so you will be the first to know when we upload a new video. Thank you for watching.